Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Sizon here. I butted in tonight, also aka Will here. He's done some live shows for an artist that you'll remind me of, and has all. He also releases music professionally too. And we met at music school way back 7 or 8 years ago. And in this podcast, we talk about all things the future, what that entails, what's going to look like, as well as the music industry. And I'll let Bud in tonight, aka Will, uh, take it away from here about what you're about and your history and all that. I think we can start from there.
Sweet, man. Well, I just want to say, Jeff, it's an honor to be here, man. This is sick. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Yeah, I can't believe we met at Icon. Gosh, now what is it, 7 or 8 years ago now? I think 2017 was when I met you there.
2018,
So
yeah.
2018, man, what a ride it's been. I'm so glad being able to stay in touch. And yeah, when you hit me about this, I was like, yeah, that sounds like something that'll be fun. But yeah, just a little backstory about me. My name is Will, go by Bud in the Night. I'm originally from Tennessee. Moved up to California for, about 6 or 7 years to pursue music at Icon. Got connected with a lot of friends out there who also do music, including Jeff. One of my friends, his name is Sammy Rash. He blew up on TikTok during COVID, just happened to invite me to be in his band, which was really cool, and got to tour with him for a couple years now. And I also released my own music under my project, mostly in like the house, UKG, drum and bassing. So that's basically all the background on my project.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good way to start it.
Mhm.
How has my question to you is like, how has your experience of live touring been? Because it's like you're not doing it, you haven't done it as an artist yet, but you've been touring with Sammy Rash, and like that's, I'm sure that's like
Mhm.
a different dynamic when playing live. So
Yeah, yeah,
maybe explain
it's
that.
really fun. Honestly, it's kind of like a dream come true. I never imagined when I got into this that I would be doing, in a band, working with someone else. I kind of always thought I would just go like the DJ route, release my music, and eventually to the point where I'd be doing my own shows for that. But life doesn't always hit you in the way that you think it's going to sometimes. So it was an opportunity I could never say no to. So I joined the project with him. I mainly play keyboard, and then I also play some of the backing tracks too. So I'm kind of cueing like our intros, making sure that we're staying on beat. We're having a click track running. I'm kind of running all that through my computer, which is really fun. It was a challenge. I didn't really know much about, I knew how to play keyboard because I grew up in lessons when I was younger, but I didn't really know a ton about it before I got into playback. And it's been a mission learning everything about it. I feel like, over the last 3 years, I progressed a lot. But yeah, getting to tour and travel has it still feels like we still talk about how we on the first tour we opened up for this band called Fits in the Tantrums, and their biggest song has a line that's called "Feels Like More Than Just a Dream," and I just keep having to remind myself every time I'm out there that this is real and we're getting to do this, and yeah, it's one of the most amazing experiences I've
Hmm.
just ever had. I'm very grateful to be able to do it.
Yeah, sure it is definitely. Um, yeah, it's kind of like the shift from music production being a hobby to being a career. That's like somewhat can be drastic. It's a lifestyle change, I think.
Mm,
And
absolutely.
I think next year for me, I'll probably start touring maybe in the fall, I'm guessing, or winter. I don't know if or I, like when that's going to be, but I know it'll be at some point along the line. Um,
Mm,
because I'm with a new like agency now, and it's a rebrand of everything I'm doing. I'm not releasing like new music until who knows when. Um, so I can
mhm.
relate in some ways to it that because it's like once you're there, it's like you're grateful for the experience that like of the lessons like I guess we all have learned throughout the time we've been doing this, and then it's like we're doing it, you know.
Yeah, it definitely is something that just feels kind of crazy. You're, you know, it's very intense and like, there's so much to do when you're on the road and you're kind of traveling constantly. But thankfully, we've got to do it as like a team with like the same photographer and the same merch manager, and it's just been like an amazing. It's kind of like a traveling little summer camp when you do it with your friends. I know a lot of my friends that have been able to tour as DJs have always said can be kind of lonely out there. I never feel really lonely when I'm on the road because I have that group. But it is something that's very intense, a lot of work. You're constantly kind of thinking about the next show, and like it's a lot of late nights, early mornings for travel. But I don't think there's any moment in it when you're like, I don't like it's just such a blessing to be able to do, and
Yeah,
so much. I think you came to the LA show, didn't you? Like
I did.
on that Fitz tour, right? Yeah, you were. I get to see friends in other cities, which has
Hmm.
been really cool. I had a high school friend move to Seattle, uh, pretty much right after school, and I would never have been able to like stay connected with them had it not been for touring, because that's the only thing that would have brought me to Seattle and
Exactly.
going to other countries. I've been lucky enough to go to Canada twice, and got to play 2 shows in London, which was really cool.
You got
So
to
yeah,
taste of
just
London,
grateful to
so
be
that's
able to do
good.
it.
So
It
I've been to
was,
London as
it
well,
was,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're talking about the trips. We were talking about it. I just love the crowds and the people over there, and they were so welcoming too for us to come and play those 2 shows. It was back to back nights, so it was 2 nights of shows, and literally I was there for like 3 days. So like I had one extra day to like try and go and do as much as I could in the city, and then yeah, it was a whirlwind of an
Yeah.
experience, but I
I
loved it.
think the Europe and UK market is a somewhat different in a good way with the music
Hmm.
industry. It's like, or the culture, I guess, in the UK, it feels like people are welcoming to Americans. That's
I
at least been
I
my
I 100%
experience. And
agree.
people are just want to be your friend. I mean, not like, not this is not like everybody, but there's definitely like a population of people that like it's easy to have it feels it's easier to have a conversation with someone from the UK than in America for whatever the
Yeah,
reason may be. But that's my experience at least.
I loved it, man. Honestly, yeah, the people were amazing, so welcoming. The food was great. Um, yeah,
Food
I
is
would
always
definitely go
good
back
there.
in a heartbeat. Yeah, food's always great. Well, when did you go to London last?
I last went there. I was considering moving there at some point.
Yeah, we were
Just
talking
in
about.
general, I was considering. I don't know why, but I just was. Uh, I went there. My last trip was gosh, when was like late March of 2024 or early
Mhm.
April. Um, so that's when I was last over there. So I've been there for three
Heck
times,
yeah,
as you know. So
heck yeah, man, that's awesome.
and man, it was so cool too. Is I went to Amsterdam Dance Event, which is also this week. It's happening.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I met one of a vocalist I worked with at an EDM.com like press like networking event thing, and we became good friends just through that, and we made a song, and she lives in London, so
Hmm. How cool, man. Bringing the world together, man, through music.
yeah, definitely. Um, any thoughts? Anything
Yeah,
that
man.
was in mind?
Music's a crazy experience. I'm excited for you to get into playing more shows and to be able to kind of like experience some of that and to go from city to city. And and not every show is sold and packed out. It's kind of like at this level of touring when you're on the way up, it's you have some shows that are a little bit smaller, and then some shows where it's like, 500, 600 people in
Sold
the
out.
room, which
Yeah.
sold out. And yeah, those are insane. But I mean, sometimes you play to like fewer than 100 people, and those can be tough when the venue doesn't look completely filled, and when there's a bigger room and the crowd, I feel like maybe they aren't as. I mean, 100 people, it's hard for them to go as crazy as 500 or 600 people. But then
But in a
to
small
get
room,
to still
100 people can be a lot at the same time.
exactly, exactly.
So
But yeah, when we did that Fitz tour, there was this incredible engineer that was on the team with them. Her name was Rachel, and she's been touring for like 27 years. She's worked with everybody from like Britney Spears to
oh wow.
all these people, and she called it school every night that we would sit down and talk about how the shows were going, and she would just give us advice. And I think we were talking about that one night. We were like, we don't know if the audience is receiving us as much on this tour, and she was like, you play every show like it's someone's very first time attending, because she said this was true. There's someone in the crowd that's their very first show ever, and there's probably someone in the crowd that it's their last show ever, which is a little bit like, I don't know, I guess morbid in some ways to think about. But it was just such true advice to like walk out there and give it your all every time, because you don't know what experience this is for these people in the crowd, and you don't know where these people are at, what they're going through in their day-to-day life. But they took time out of their day to come see you and spend their money to be there. So you better give it your all, because um, you just don't know these things. And I really think about that every single time before I go on stage. Is it's someone's first show, and it's probably someone's last show. So
Yeah, it's a good perspective. Like
it's deep meaning.
I didn't think of it in that way before. I mean, I do think of it in that way, but it's like good that you mention it, because it's
Hmm.
like you don't, like you said, you don't know why like certain people are going there, the reason why they needed an escape from whatever, or they needed to heal through music, you know.
Hmm.
It's like very like cool that you mentioned that, I think.
Yeah, it's beautiful that like I feel like music means so much to people, and like I mean, we're both big fans of EDM, so I know we've both been going to shows for
Since
years, long
years,
before we
decades,
started
like
making music.
2012.
Way before.
No.
Oh yeah, I'm saying I started in 20. Yeah,
So we've seen
you
how the
know,
industry has gone, like with the people, the
yeah,
artists at the top.
yeah. It's been insane to watch, but just we started our journeys both in just the passion for music and going to scenes, and wanting to create that same space for other people. I think about it when I like, who was the first artist that you saw that you're like, I want to do that.
It goes back to 2011 or 2012 Med Step
Mode
when they
step,
had the
dude.
live band.
Yes,
So I was
dude.
like
I
dubstep in the live band. I was like, at that moment, I'm like, I I want to do that. you know.
Yeah, I love that. I just listened to a podcast by him recently. He was on
Josh, yeah.
um Taboo's podcast about, gosh, maybe a couple months back, but he was talking about how he's bringing back the live band and where he was at before he did all of, before he was, Mode Step, what he was doing. He was in other bands, and I love that he had a very like musical background before he like his first two tracks he ever wrote were like his biggest tracks ever. It's just kind of
I
crazy to
know.
think that.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I think a while back at some venue show, I forget, gosh knows where, it's some venue in Orange County, the Circle OC, I think it's called.
Mhm.
I met the drummer there of Midstep, just
No
briefly.
way.
So it's like full
Small
circle
world,
moments
right?
come in all the time for me in my life, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hmm. That's cool, man. Yeah, I love that we both come from a lot of passion. I can speak that like my first like rave was Life in Color, which do you remember what
I
that
remember
is?
Life in Color. Yeah.
Yeah, my very
Pittsburgh,
Knox.
Pennsylvania, they had like the running, it was the running one, right?
Yeah, they do. They also did like a marathon thing, but I remember they came through Knoxville, Tennessee, which is I lived close to there when I was in college,
Yeah.
and I just remember my friends being like, it was actually my neighbor who I grew up with my whole life. He hit me up. He was like, "Dude, we should go to this. This would be so much fun." I was like, "Dude, I have no idea if that's something I want to do. I don't. It just
Either.
sounds crazy. They're gonna cover you in
Funny.
paint." I was like, "Is it gonna stain my clothes? Like, what's gonna happen?" But he was like, "Nah, just everyone's gonna wear white. It's gonna be cool." And I went, and that night, literally changed my life. And then like literally right after that, I got invited by another friend to go to a music festival called Counterpoint in Georgia,
Mhm.
and I got to go and see like Skrillex and Avicii and a lot of Pretty Lights, a lot of big acts at the time. And
Right.
I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to be up there. I want to create the same space for people to escape from like the outside world that I guess at the time just felt so, still feels crazy, but you know,
Right, of
we're
course.
here.
And it's like what was I going to say? Like that 2010s era was like the prime time for EDM. Like from
Oh yeah.
2011 to I would say 2018, it was the best. Like I
Mm.
loved the music so much, and I was like headbanging and on the rail. you know,
As you should, man.
it's like you know, I have fond memories of just being backstage with some artists and stuff I looked up to, from like
Yeah.
the 2015, 2018 era, and even like after Icon a little bit until 2020. So it was
Mm,
good, you know. And now I'm just like, what's so weird is that it doesn't hit me the same way as it did the first time, like being backstage
mm.
and all that, because it's like I've done it, so it's like it's nothing new.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still like really cool and fun at the same time. Just looking back at all those, how big EDM, like the EDM boom was, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a different time. I guess we are kind of looking at it with like those rose tinted lenses of that era and how and it really was though like such a different scene. I feel like it was just so new to a lot of people. Um, where nowadays a lot of the people like have been going to shows for a while and they kind of know what to expect from them. At the time, like people didn't know how to dress, they didn't really know how to act. They were just there to like give all like the energy that they could to this thing. I remember like the venue I went to in Knoxville a lot for like the first couple of shows I ever went to. Um, it was like 200 or 300 people, very small, but like it would be sold out at every show,
Yeah,
and the crowd would just be going nuts. I
similar
remember Adventure
experience.
Club.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember Adventure Club played there in like 2014 or 2013 maybe,
Adventure
and
Club. Yeah,
yeah, I still have not seen a crowd to this day that it was like that hot in the room and like the crowd was just going that crazy the whole time.
yeah.
I think it's cool. They're actually doing a throwback tour coming up. I'm
I
going to see
know.
them
I
here
saw
in
that.
Nashville,
Yeah. I remember
so
like
I'm excited
back
for
in,
that.
when was it, 2012, 2013, 2014. I saw Adventure Club in like Cleveland, so I would just like drive up to Cleveland
No
in the
way.
winter, road trip to Cleveland and back. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like those were fun days too.
Hmm.
And then they also played in Pittsburgh plenty of times, and like I actually met them one time. Leighton, I think
No
his
way.
name is, and Christian, and it's like at the
Hmm.
after party in the underground rave scene. It was like so sketchy, but I would
Hey,
just go in downtown, and my parents kind of just like let me do my thing. Luckily, so
you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta go to the after sometimes, man.
uh, yeah.
But yeah, man. Where do you feel like you're at with music now and like going to shows? Are you still going to a lot of shows too?
I'm going to Justice this Saturday at the Kia
Oh,
Forum.
what
Some
a
like I
good
had
show, dude.
some a friend that I met at the our school icon collective at an advanced program in 2021. He invited
Mhm.
me out and says you should come to this. I'm like, you're right, I should go.
Yeah, it's an easy decision. That's a pretty easy decision, honestly, to go to Justice.
Yeah.
I was supposed to see them. I was at Bonner this year when it got rained out, and Justice was like they were going to play,
Oh,
I think Saturday the next day, but it got all the. I mean, the whole weekend basically got canceled. But we were already there camping, which was like I've never had that experience in my life.
I never have either. I've
But
still yet to experience that. So
well, dude, let's get you to a Bonner, man. I think we need to get you to a camping festival.
yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
I definitely I'll consider it. You know, I should.
I would highly recommend getting an RV if you can afford to rent one, because it
Oh
gets
my
hot
god,
out there,
RV. Oh
and
man.
that sun be waking you up early.
Oh
But
jeez.
it's one of the coolest festivals in the world, I think,
Where's
personally.
Bonnaroo at? Remind me, Tennessee.
It's in Manchester, Tennessee. It's about 90 minutes kind of southeast of Nashville.
Okay. Well, when it comes,
Mm.
what month is it?
June or about mid-June,
Okay,
I would
I
say.
could
I think
potentially
they've
do it.
announced the
Maybe,
dates.
you know.
Dude, you should. I think it would be a great festival to attend because
Yeah.
it's a very welcoming. The crowd's amazing, very welcoming, happy place.
Hmm.
So be a good one for you.
It would be. There's a festival. I saw this on my Instagram algorithm. There's a festival in Iceland in the summer, sometime in August. It's during a solar eclipse. It's the only solar eclipse to happen in 100 years. So I'm
Wow,
like, I got. It feels like I gotta go to that. And then like
that sounds
I
really
don't
cool.
recognize anyone in the lineup, which is like kind of perfect. You know, it's kind of just about more so the music and the experience. I'm like,
Mhm.
I should go to this. So I'm kind of like relating to
That's
you in a way. So,
that sounds really cool too. I mean, it's never a bad thing to go to a festival where you don't know people or don't know the artists on the lineup because you never know who you're going to find. You never know what you're going to experience.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think we can segue into, unless you have any questions for me, since it's like a
No, man.
conversation.
We're just right. Let's segue.
Segue into the future, AI,
Yeah, dude.
AI, all of that. We talked about. I had a guess. His name's Lucas. He ran Pacific Empire, which is a label, the fellow like icon alumni. But we
Hmm.
talked about AI. We talked about the future, what that's going to entail. Um, what's pretty much depicted in sci-fi movies. So it's like,
Basically, it's here.
yeah, it's here, and there's Tron Ares the movie. Did you see Tron Ares?
Dude, I haven't yet, but I really want to. I want to see it in theaters. I'm not gonna wait till it comes to. I do have Disney Plus, but I'm
You,
not waiting till it comes to streaming. I need to see that in
you
theaters.
need to see it in IMAX. That's like the best experience
IMAX.
for it. Yep.
Okay, that's my
It's really
goals for
good,
like these
and
next
I
few
think
weeks.
they one upped Tron Legacy for sure. After
Wow,
seeing it, I was
that.
very skeptical, and but like after
uh
seeing it, I'm like, yeah, it's because they bring the realistic, futuristic vehicles and all of that into the real world. So it's like,
hmm
it looks very realistic in the way they did the animation and the CGI and all of that.
Heck yeah, dude. I'm
So
I'm very excited to see it. I was a huge fan of the first one. That soundtrack, I used to run in my car all the like the whole original and the remix album with like you got like Avicii's remix on there
that's
of I
that's the
forget which
second
song
Tron
he
movie.
remixed.
Sorry to correct you. The first one is back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
1980s,
Not the
early
yeah, not the
1980s.
original,
Yeah,
but yeah, the Tron is it Legacy?
it's Tron Legacy. That's the second one.
Is the second one.
Yeah,
Yes. That soundtrack changed my life, dude.
it did.
I still listen to
Daft
that
Punk.
time to time.
Yeah,
Daft Punk just I mean they crushed that.
yeah. And then Nine Inch
But
Nails,
yeah.
I think this time crushed it too, because that
Oh, they
soundtrack
did.
album is like already out on Spotify, so you could listen to it. But what I did is I didn't. I made sure to. Sometimes it's great in movies to just not listen to the soundtrack until you actually see the movie first. So
Hmm.
that's what I did, and
I
I'm
want
like,
that visual, yeah.
yeah. So then it makes more sense to me when I go back on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever to just listen to it back in full. I'm like, okay, now this makes more sense, and
Hmm.
I enjoy it a lot more. So yeah, it's like there's I think I'm not going to spoil the movie, but I think it plays a question about a good question about AI consciousness in some set in some terms of like they're already talking like there's a podcast out there that they're already talking about like uploading consciousness to the digital so you like live forever. I'm just like,
Sounds
oh my,
intense.
it's intense, and this movie I think plays on that idea, you know
Yeah.
subtly. They don't really like explicitly show it, but it's like one of the themes in Tron Ares. So it's like if this is already being depicted in movies and it's already being talked about in podcasts, it's like feels like the big tech companies are going to like be talking about it inevitably. so,
I think
so
they
what
already
do you
are.
think
I
about
think
all of this? I guess that's my question.
I I think that, you know, the future is definitely kind of like things I think we imagined when we were young, like when we were kids of like what the future would look. I think those things are here now, especially with AI. It's just advanced so far and like, having it as basically like a teaching companion that can help you with so much. I don't cue into the prophecy that it's going to take over the world and that we're going to turn into like a Terminator esque
Robots
movie.
taking over the world, but they're already building the Tesla robots, and in China they already
They
have the
are.
robots. That's the thing. So it's like,
I know, yeah, and it's definitely the future. There's still a lot of questions there, but I think for now at least, I feel like AI serves as a great companion to learning and to being able to further yourself as an artist. I mean, I'm sure like most people,
agreed.
I use ChatGPT a lot to just ask questions, to gather information, and to be able to like ask it on like releases or to help me write something, whether it's a post or come up with an
The
idea
business aspect of things,
for
it's really
yeah,
ChatGPT
for the
is
business
really
aspect.
great, and even for running Instagram ads and Facebook ads, it's amazing. It tells you the exact budget spend to put for a
Hmm.
post so it can perform well. So I think it's really good for that. So that's just one
Yeah,
example. But
I just think there's so much power in it, and I think if you're able to use the tools correctly now, I feel like it will make you an even stronger artist. I don't cue in that like I also know there's like AI platforms that make music, and while I know they're getting better every single day, I don't believe that they'll take away the human aspect of music. I don't believe they'll come in and take all the music jobs away from it, because I feel like people are still connected to what makes a song human, where AI can't really depict exactly what a correct human way of making a song and giving a song like soul, because in that humanism is imperfection, which robots don't really know how to do imperfection at all. It's their system is, it's kind of more rigid and designed in a way to be perfect, when humans, I feel like, fall in love with the imperfections of music.
Mm, that
So
was
I
well said.
Yeah, I have a mentor of mine I've been like working with throughout this year. He's given me a lot of good advice, because I feel like a lot of producers are getting down about just how good like platforms are getting at making music. But
And I think it's going
I
to take
feel
away
like,
music artists, and their
oh
their
yeah,
jobs and like touring and all that. I'm like, it's not going to get rid of the touring aspect of the music industry.
no,
There's still
yeah,
there still has to be there's going to be artists still like performing, and their careers aren't going to
yeah,
go anywhere. I think AI will just it's already I mean it still can it's at a pretty big maximum potential already, and it's like feels like it's maxed out, but it's just going to keep learning and relearning,
hmm,
with making better music. But I think like how you said it, like the imperfections of music from a person's perspective of the person or the artist actually creating the music is what attracts people. I think, like how you said it.
hmm,
So
exactly. Yeah, we're here to be able to hear something that we can connect with, and it's hard to connect to something that doesn't feel. I mean, I know people have said that, like, AI made tracks have done well on Spotify, but like I've yet to see one that's like become a hit or become like something that's people's like favorite song they've ever listened to.
right,
And
yeah,
maybe that day will happen, but at least at the moment, people crave human made sounds, and I feel like it's only going to cause a more pushback for musicians to be even more human in their productions, and even more like just in sounds and played instruments that we do ourselves. And yeah, maybe the take isn't perfect. It's not quantized to every single millisecond of the beat, but it's just something that people will be able to find, and and know that it was made by someone that cared a lot about it and poured a lot of love and emotion into it.
yeah, agreed. But I think we can end it here. We talked a fair bit about what you're doing, Will, at Bud in
Mm.
Midnight with your music career. Well, we haven't really touched too much on that. We talked more about the touring aspect of what you're doing with Sammy Rash, which is really good. Amazing.
Mm.
Um, what's in the next pipeline for Bud in a Night in terms of? I know you're releasing a song every week. It is, and from what you told me. So what's
Yeah,
coming up?
yeah, it's been a crazy year. Yeah, I've been doing the 52 and 52 challenge, where you do one song a week. I have We're in week 50 or 43 right
Oh
now at the
wow.
moment. Just put out my 43rd track of the year, which definitely feels crazy to say. So yeah, I've got a couple more originals and remixes coming. Haven't finished everything out for the year yet, but I'm getting closer. I've got a couple originals already done. I'm submitting to um, distribution later this week. Um, so yeah, just staying busy with that, making sure I'm kind of preparing a little bit for next year, seeing kind of what I'm drawing the plans. I'm definitely not going to do a song a week for all of next year. I would have to be mentally insane to do that, I think, again. But I learned a lot from this. I'm definitely grateful for the challenge. I've done it with a small group too of other people that have been doing this crazy challenge, which has been fun. I feel like we've trauma bonded a little bit over all the just having to spend this much time, you know, not that it's a bad thing, but having to spend this much time on music every week, having to be like, oh snap, I have a song that needs to come out by Wednesday. That's when I put the songs out every week,
Oh cool.
and it is such a driving force. I've loved it. I also have learned a lot from it. I'm ready to kind of apply those lessons next year. I still think I want to stick to like maybe a new song every 3 to 4 weeks is what I'm gauging right now for next year. So still stay on a pretty good release schedule. Don't fall off. It's definitely easy, I feel like, to fall into the perfectionism route. That's why I started this challenge in the first place,
Mm.
to think that like a song has to be perfect before it's released. But in this challenge, you can quickly get over that, because you have to be on to the next song in no time. So yeah, just getting back into the releases, pitching to a few more labels next year because I'll have a little more time to spread things out. So I'm excited to kind of get back into really building the brand and
Building
just
a button in night
releasing more
to be a
music.
performing
That's
artist, releasing music
yes,
all over.
sir.
It's good.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
I'm very.
the label pitching should be exciting too, I imagine, for next year
Oh yeah.
once you complete this challenge, which is I think it's very hard to. It would be hard for me to do like a song a week
Mm.
and have it all ready and the way I wanted to, even though I probably could, but it's like it's
I think you could do it, Jeff. I think you could
yeah.
easily. I
So
think you could easily get it done.
yeah, I mean, I already made 6 or 7 songs this month, which is good, and now
Oh,
the
you're already more than a song a week.
yeah, I mean, they're short ideas like verse, chorus, and that's it, really.
Mm.
But out of those, I've found 2 songs that I'm going to continue for sure. So it's like
Okay.
really good, kind of
Heck
like
yeah, man.
and somewhat connecting to your challenge in a way. So I'm just like
I love it, man.
relating. But yeah, all right. So we're at 31 minutes, and we're gonna end it here. I think this is a good place to stop.
Sweet, man.
We talked about your career, your touring with Sammy, what you're doing on your personal artist project. Talked about the future as well, I think which was a enlightening discussion on AI, which is interesting. So,
I love it. I love it. I love going deep on those topics.
I do too. See you everyone, and see you in the future in the next podcast.